This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com. Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today's 425.22, show number 384. Markets are still under pressure. Nick, is this what we've been waiting for, or is it the Fed's last opportunity for one more pump? Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm Kerry Lutz. Today is 9/16/22, show number 424. Can't even believe we've been going at it that long, Nick. Well, hey, we haven't talked this week much, but hey, we need a recap here of market meltdown and what the heck's been going on with options expiration here.
Well, we've had an options expiration meltdown. That's what we've had. It's really been quite extraordinary. If you look at today's news, you had FedEx plunging after weaker expected guidance. This is a major transport company, and when they warn, the whole world should listen, right? This stock is trading down by more than 20% today, and that's been the catalyst for the Dow Jones Industrial Average falling by more than 5% today. But that's the theme of the week. We've had many companies this week warning. Earlier this week, we got Nucor Steel, and that stock plunged, and they issued Q3 earnings warning. So we've seen a lot of different names out here. I believe Eastman Chemical warned as well. But anytime you get a warn, multiple companies warn like this, and it's really just been an ugly setup this week for the most part. But remember, the markets were bouncing into this options X, and probably were a lot of call options being bought there, thinking that the counter trend bounce was going to resume, and then boom, right back down we go. And that's why you got to be careful during a quadruple witching options expiration. Got 4 different asset classes expiring this week, and nobody should think it's going to be easy.
It never is easy, right? Never is. But hey, if we go back to the original Dow theory, which was really the first theory of market activity, of market prices and where it's heading, when you see weak transports and then confirmed by the Dow, it's the Dow Jones Industrial, it's always virtually a certainty of a lower market ahead.
That's right. And, I know the Dow theory pretty well. It's very simple, actually, right? If the Dow is confirming the transports, they're making new highs, then you're going higher. When the Dow and the transports are making new lows, you're going lower. It's very, very simple to track. And, today you got really a bloodbath in the transports. You're looking at the Dow Jones Transportation Average down over 5%. That's a 681-point decline. It's really just a nasty, nasty sell-off. If anybody's looking at the ETF for that, it's the IYT, and that ETF is down by $9 today. I don't remember the last time I've seen it down that much in a single session. So it's getting absolutely slaughtered. But you always watch the transports because it's a great leading indicator. If the transport stocks are starting to tumble, then there are problems out there. This wasn't really that hard to tell. I just didn't think we would get a FedEx warning right in the middle of options expiration. So that happened, but that's what options X does. You get those news events that come out right when nobody's expecting them. And it's a pretty nasty week overall.
Yes, that's for sure. Well, we saw gold get destroyed yesterday, but it's bouncing back. And I just want to point out that gold, the last 3 out of 4 quad witches, gold was just decimated. So it's becoming a pattern. Last time, not so much.
It is becoming a pattern. Even last time, it did have that one day where it just got shellacked. So not only quad witches, but it just seems like gold gets hit every options expiration, even on the monthlies, for whatever reason. So, I haven't really looked into why that occurs. I have some suspicions, but it does happen, and it happened again this week. But I will say this much. Gold is getting a little snapback today. But one thing I love, Kerry, out here right now is silver.
I knew you were going to say
silver.
That. I knew you were going to say that.
I love silver because gold is not satisfied my final bottom. Silver has. Silver's acting well again today, up another. Look at silver futures up almost 2% right now. It's just been on fire. So I love silver right now. I picked off that bottom. I actually made a physical purchase of silver, and a large one at that. And I haven't bought physical silver in a long, long time. So, that just goes to show you the conviction behind it.
A sub $20 silver seems like a screaming bargain, Nick.
Yeah, when I picked up silver, believe it or not, and I made the phone call in and picked it up, it was on the 1st of September, and it was sub 18. So just think about that, and I'm going to look for this baby to go up to above 30. So again, and possibly more, but I love silver here. Gold still can flounder and chop around. It is having a decent day today, but it still hasn't hit my final low. But when that gets there, I'll be letting everybody here know, and we'll be backing up the truck to load up on that too. But we're not there yet. But silver really is acting well. And I'll tell you one other thing: gold miners are acting well. Gold miners have not made a new low with gold. Gold made a new low yesterday. Gold miners did not. And look at the moving gold miners today. Newmont Mining in particular, and that's one I own, and I own a lot of it. So again, that's making a great move today, up 3.5%. And look at gold miners today, up almost 2% on the GDX. So they're acting much, much better. And you're going to see the shift. As all of this stuff occurs, people are going to say, hey, I got no more faith in these governments. These people are crazy. I'm going to go into something, a hard asset. If you don't own gold, I would own a farm.
Yeah. Hey, well, speaking of owning stuff, what about Bitcoin today?
Yeah, Bitcoin right now, looking a little bit on the weaker side, but it's trading sub 20,000. We've talked about Bitcoin, how it's just been very, very choppy as of late. So, right now I think it can bounce around a little bit, but the bigger picture in Bitcoin is not good. It looks ugly. It looks like it wants to go sub 14. I'm going to say it's even going to go sub 13,000. So I do not like Bitcoin at all right now. I mean, if you're savvy and you want to try to play some, micro bounces here and there, by all means, there could be bounces there. But bigger picture, this is headed lower. If you're going to dabble in this thing, like I said, if you're gutsy and you want to play some bounces, there are probably still some bounces in there up and down. But bigger picture, this thing's going, sub 13, sub maybe even 12 to 12,500 level. I would be very careful with it.
Hey, when I look at the charts here, the 1-year chart, it's down 58.67%. So even if you're looking for a 2/3 retrace, it's not quite there yet, right? And then we look at year to date, it's down, the same thing. The 1 year and the year to date are virtually identical. 6 months, it's down 52%. 1 month, it's down 17%. Even the 5-day chart is low. The only thing that looks green is the 1-day chart, but that's like often enough. That's enough for many of you crypto investors out there to say, oh, it's going higher, and good luck there.
Well, you know what happens? They put these talking heads on television every time, the Bitcoin seems to get to around, 24, 25,000. That's the high end of its range right now. Every time it gets there, they say the bottom is in, and people get all excited. But the reality of it is you got to use charts. You got to look at these patterns. You got to look at the formations that are out there. And you can't just limit yourself to, a short-term time frame. You got to look at these on a bigger scale. And if you recognize the pattern on a bigger scale, the next drop in this Bitcoin takes you probably sub 14, sub 13,000. And then, then you look for, a decent trade around there. But I would tell everybody, be very careful here if you want to own this thing right now. I would not do it.
All right. Well, that's it for today. And thanks for your patience. I was traveling, but we'll be back to our regular schedule next week. And make sure you go over to Nick's site, inthemoneystocks.com. See how he's beaten the averages for decades. The Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago 01, at Kerry Lutz. Emails are welcome, KL@KerryLutz.com. Let us know how you're doing on your crypto holdings. Are you holding pat, or are you going to dump? Have you finally had enough? Like to know about that. And same thing with your precious metals holdings. Brian, I know gold is a scam. You put it on every post, and Hey, maybe it's the ultimate scam, and maybe it'll be the last scam standing. That remains to be seen. Nick, we will talk to you on Monday.
It sounds good, Kerry. Talk to you on Monday.